I believe in God, and God knows the truth of my heart. Me and him are on the same side. We're on the same mission, God and I. I'm his number one angel, one of his favorite soldiers.
God's favorite.
God's favorite. And when you're God's favorite, you have to fight the demons. You have to you have to go through the battle. That's what God wants of you, right? Yeah, absolutely. My belief system is very, very simple. It's based on results, right? It's based on competency. The things I believe and the way I view the world and the mindset I've adopted has been created to be the most effective version of a mindset which is going to allow me to perform. It's like the software you install within yourself. I've installed an operating system which allows me to perform at the absolute highest levels. It doesn't matter whether they're trying to cancel me. It doesn't matter whether people are trying to kill me. It doesn't matter when, even the cancellation, right? I don't give a shit about losing my social media, but when you start getting lied about in the media en masse and your family's being threatened and news reporters are calling your ex-girlfriends, offering them bribes to lie about you, and they're trying to get you in serious criminal trouble for things you haven't done, that's a huge level of stress. These people are genuinely fucking demonic. They're evil in what they do to people like me who are completely innocent. And the mindset I have to deal with all these things is a software I've installed that allows me to deal with huge amounts of pressure, because whether it's fighting or anything else, I've always had a very pressure-filled life. And that's why I think the way I think, because it allows me to perform the way I perform. And my performance is obviously doing me very, very well in life. So I would never adopt any other type of mindset. I think that how successful you are in life isn't usually linked to IQ. You can be stupid and successful. And it's certainly linked to energy levels. But one of the most important things that's going to determine how successful you are in life is how much stress you can adopt. The more stress you can adopt, the more problems you're solving. And I tell you now, 99% of the people watching this stream would collapse under 5% of the daily shit I deal with every single fucking day. You guys have been here. I'm either at the desk, at a meeting, running back and forth on the phone, dealing with millions and millions of dollars and bullshit that it never ends. And the more stress you can adopt, the more successful you're going to be. And I'm just that guy. And I've been that guy my whole life. I'm that guy that everyone who knows me, all my family, every woman I know, they all come to me with their problems. They throw their shit on top of my shit. I'm just a problem solver. It's just who I've always been. And if you want to be that person, you have to have a certain mindset. And that's what my mindset is. It's not even about, this is what's interesting. It's not even about truth. And I know that sounds crazy. It's not so much of me looking and going, what's true? It's more about me believing in what I need to believe to be as successful as possible. I'm cool under pressure because I've literally had people try and hurt me for a large period of my life. I still have people trying to hurt me today. And it's just the normal operating procedure. It is how it is. And yeah, without the actual threat of physical violence, when there's not someone in the room trying to kill me, it's very easy for me to just to calm down and say, cool, let's get the problem solved. So they wanted me to quit and be demotivated. And I'll make it clear now, I've been massively successful on my new platform, Rumble. But even if I had one subscriber, I would be posting just like before, podcasts just like before. I'm indefatigable. I do not give up. I do not get tired. I do not quit. That's what they want. That's what the enemy wants from me. They want to try and win a war of attrition. They want to wear me down and hope I quit and give up and go, oh, I'm not getting any traction now. I don't have YouTube. This is going to be hard, etc. I am not that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who keeps going. And if you're truly indefatigable in life, and perspicacious, that's my favorite saying, the one I say all the time, unmatched perspicacity coupled with sheer indefatigability makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. It's absolutely and utterly true. If you pay attention to the things that are happening around you and you do not quit, you will be a dangerous opponent in any realm of human endeavor. It doesn't matter what you try and do. Cancel me, fucking cancel me again. Do it again. It ain't going to change anything. I'm a man who lives true to God and says what he means and means what he says. And I know the things I say are good for society and good for the world. I didn't put a fucking magic spell on anybody. The reason people listen to me is because they like what I say and they know that I'm telling the truth. That's the reason I am here. And I'm going to continue to do that. And there's nothing anybody can fucking do about it. Because in every single battle, there has to be somebody who charges at the front and perhaps takes the most flack. And perhaps it's the most dangerous to charge in at the front. And that's what I'm doing. And everyone's like, why is Tate involved in this battle? Why is he taking so much shit? Tate has all this money. He could just go on a yacht with a bunch of bitches and run around with a bunch of cars and just have fun. I could do that. The reason I'm doing this is because I believe this war is coming to absolutely every single one of us. You have two choices as a man. You either realize the truth about reality and understand how the matrix is suppressing you and affecting your mind. You either wake up and you are now in battle against the matrix itself, or you accept the programming. When you accept the programming, the battle doesn't end because you're in a battle against your own mind. If you believe the they want you to believe, you're unhappy, you're depressed, you're miserable. So you're either fighting against yourself inside of your own mind, living in some semi-depressed state, sitting on the internet talking complete bullshit in these liberal hate mobs, or you understand the truth about what's happening and you're in the war against the matrix. You can't escape this fight. Everybody watching this is in this fight. I'm in this fight. You're in this fight. We're all in this fight. The war is here. When the battle turns up at your front fucking door, you can't just cower. Someone has to fight. So yeah, maybe I'm at the front, but I'm also in a unique position to handle that. One, because of the stress. Second, because of the finances. Third, because I'm hard to hurt. So I feel like it's my duty to God. I'm not going to sit here and tell people, listen, accept the that they want you to believe. Stay at home, semi-depressed, take your Adderall, be a little dork, and then the Matrix is going to be happy with you, because there's no happiness in that. You can't avoid this battle. You're just going to end up in a battle with your own head. You're going to have to fight. To all the men watching this, you are going to fight somebody at some point, either the Matrix or your self. Choose. I refuse to turn on myself. I'm not going to be the guy who turns on myself and makes an enemy out of my own mind. No, sir. Me and every single thing inside of me is on the same team. And when the enemy appears, then it's on. If it's on, it's on. That's the game. And that's what the old emperors wanted. The emperors of today want the same thing. They want eunuchs. They want you to go to work and they want you to pay your taxes, but they don't want you to think for yourself or have any balls or have any true ambition or open your mind or resist slave mind programming. They don't want any of that. That's a decision every single individual needs to make. And I decided absolutely and utterly not to. And I know that I could disappear and just down a hole of hedonism. I could disappear into a black hole of degeneracy and not even fight this war. A lot of people don't understand that I don't need to be doing the shit I'm doing. I have a very, very good life and I'm taking genuine risks to do it. But I also understand that my unique positioning means that it would be disingenuous for me as an individual of honor and integrity to not stand up and fight when I know that I'm in a position to fight when most people can't. Most people can't say the shit I say because they're gonna lose their fucking jobs. Yep. I've just been canceled. I still have hundreds of millions of dollars. Now what? They can't hurt me on that level. So I feel like I have a genuine duty to do it. And the only alternative at my level of life is endless hedonism. That's the only alternative. And I think a lot of people, especially before they're successful, like the idea of an endless hedonistic life. And let me explain something to the world. Certain things are black holes. Money is a black hole to a degree. Numbers go forever. If you're going to say, I need money to be happy, it goes up forever. You're going to need a new number every day. You're never going to be happy. You need a higher purpose and a higher vision. And my purpose is to wake people up and make them feel good about themselves. I don't want the whole entire population of the West eunuched and cucked. I don't think that's beneficial for the world. So I'm trying to do the absolute opposite. This is what's so hypocritical about them, right? They talk about men's mental health and caring about how men feel and how men think. The fact that I have such a large following and you guys have such a large following shows that our mindset is really not that unique. There's a lot of people who agree with us. Yeah. There's a lot of people who agree with us, right?
Behind the scenes too.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people who agree with us, and that means that we deserve a voice. And if they truly cared about men's mental health, they'd be trying to propagate us out there in the world and saying, look, these guys have a point of view, and maybe people align with their point of view. And that's what they would do if they're genuinely fair and non-tyrannical, but they don't care about men's mental health. They don't give a shit about you. Men, you need to understand that you are the backbone of the slave force. You always have been. You're the men who are going to die in a war. You're the men who are going to build the roads, dig the trenches. Nobody gives a how you feel about it. You're the backbone of the slave force, and they don't give a shit about you doing anything other than using your time and using your energy and using your life force to advance their civilizations. But the second you have a point of view, you're not allowed to stand up and say it. No, shut the fuck up, go dig the trench again, then go home to your sexless wife and your kids who don't care about you. It's truly amazing where we talk about the differences between men and women, but one of the largest differences is the societal view of how a man and woman are. The society looks at men and just thinks of us as workhorses. That's what we are. We always have been. And we still are to this day. And the workhorse isn't allowed to talk. Chicks are allowed to talk. We talk about chicks' mental health all day long. Oh, poor women, poor women. Yeah, poor chicks. And I'm not saying that women don't face struggles, but I'm not a woman. I'm a man. So I can talk about the struggles that men face because those are the struggles that I've lived through. I know them. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the struggles of women. There's plenty of women who already do that. But a second a man stands up and says, no, this is how certain men feel. This is how you fix it. This is how you deal with it. Because that's what I've been saying all along. I've been saying it's very difficult as life as a man. You don't get to just get to. You got to be a G. You got to get out there and you got to make yourself. You got to do it. It's not easy. It's very, very hard. Mm-hmm. I've been telling the truth about these things and they just want to shut me up. They want their eunuchs. They don't want people to strap their balls back on. I said at the beginning of this stream, I do not believe in things that take away power from me. I only believe in things that make me more powerful as an individual. Now, I cannot deny that feeling depressed is real because every single human on the planet sometimes feels depressed. Feeling depressed is real, but being a depressive or having depression is something else. I accept that if I do feel depressed or I do feel sad or I do feel negative, which is actually very rare for me, but if it does ever happen, I understand I'm human and it's an emotion I'm going through and it will pass. People who have depression believe that they have a disease that can't be fixed and can't be cured. You are handing your power away. You're giving your power to an outside source and you're saying that I have no control over this. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. You need to at least believe you have some degree of control. When I say depression isn't real, I'm not saying you don't feel depressed. I'm saying that you can fix it. It's not a disease that you caught from the sky. You can fix it by taking control of your own mind. Listen, I'll tell you right now, I don't know how to fly a plane. I don't know. But if I was in a plane and it was crashing and I was sitting in the pilot's chair, I would still hold on to the fucking gear stick or joystick or whatever it's fucking called. I'd hold on to it and try and move. Even though I don't know what I'm doing, I'd try and get some control over the scenario. I'm not going to give up and put my hands in the air and crash into a mountain. I would try and do something. I'm not the guy who relinquishes all his control to outside forces. I believe I have a lot of control and power within myself. So when I speak to depressed people, and they sit there and say, no, you don't understand. I have depression, You are one, hypnotizing yourself to believe you have it. One. Yeah. Two, giving a bunch of power to this outside source instead of believing the power inside of yourself. And three, not just being realistic enough to know that I feel a certain way and I feel this way because of my life circumstances. And if I change my life circumstances, perhaps my mindset might change. And that's why I say depression isn't real. The worst things on the planet could happen to me. I refuse to be a depressed person. I may feel depressed for a day, or I may feel depressive for a few hours, but I will never be a depressed person. I'm not the guy who walks with his fucking head down. I'm the guy who walks with my shoulders back and my chin up high. That's who I am as an individual, and I absolutely not refuse to change. And I cannot catch depression. All these people out here saying that depression is a disease, I can't fucking catch it. I'm immune because I'm living life. They're trying to attack me with everything they can. I can't catch depression. It's never happened, never fucking will. And I stand by that. Another thing that's really important, I say this all the time, nearly every word that comes out of my mouth is self-hypnosis. Every word that comes out of my mouth is self-hypnosis. And it's the same for everybody watching this. Every single word you speak is self-hypnosis. Every single thing you say out of your own mouth is almost more important than the things you hear from other people.
Amen.
You can't be sitting there saying, I'm depressed. I got a generational curse. I'm unlucky, bro. You can't be saying these things because you're reaffirming them within your mind. I don't do that. And as many people are going to sit there and say, Tate, you're delusional, you're a narcissist. You go through the world saying you're super lucky and that you're bulletproof and you can do all these crazy things. It's impossible for you to be depressed. You're a narcissist. Perhaps. Look at my life and look at yours.